everybody. This is just a very spontaneous live today. So if you are here managing to get on live, I'll wait just for one moment because obviously this wasn't one that I had planned today, but I usually do a live at 12:30. And hey Helen, if you are here live, drop a hey in the comments and we can, this is going to be a practical session today. It's just going to be a quick one. As you probably know, I'm on holiday this week. I've had a great week this week. Me and my husband, we've been doing some normal stuff. Yay! We've actually been going out to, to towns and actually being able to stop and have lunch, and a glass of cider I had as well in Stratford the other day. So it's been lovely that we've been able to take the week off. So I'm not doing my normal 12:30 live today, so I thought I would jump on and do a very quick one. Because there's been some stuff that's come... Right, there my little affirmations come up onto my screen there. My little programmed alarms that I have come in. I should remember those every time. So if you are here live, just drop in a hey, say hello, let me know that you are here. I can't see any comments coming up at the moment, so I don't know whether comments is working right now because it does have a bit of a habit of playing up. But this one's a good one because what I have noticed that's really building up right now is feelings of overwhelm. And I want to go through today some really practical tips that I do in my accelerator program. I do it in all of my programs, but particularly my accelerator program, because that is obviously a fast track acceleration program. So it's my 12-week coaching and mentoring program that I do with some fabulous ladies. But they are on an acceleration program. Hey Katie, oh yeah, it is working, woohoo! I just thought I'd do a bit of a spontaneous live instead of my 12:30 live, so I'm jumping on here now. So overwhelm seems to be happening a lot at the moment, and we can have a habit of being so overwhelmed with the word overwhelm that it actually stops us in our track. And it's certainly because, when you're in business and you really are kind of on this fast track, you're moving to the next level, that overwhelm seems to be becoming more and more apparent at the moment. Now, we were only designed to handle just one thing. One task at a time, yet most of the time we have these huge, massive long to-do lists, and we just keep adding the next thing to it. Now, life is pretty hectic, isn't it? It's even chaotic at times. We're full of challenges and full of obstacles, but it doesn't need to be overwhelming. We do have a choice in how we respond. Everything on your plate right now, you have said yes to. So we've got ways to actually respond to that. And I'm going to go through some really fabulous tips with you today that really work. And I'm able to talk to you like this because, being in business, being an entrepreneur, it happens, doesn't it? It absolutely happens that we get full of overwhelm. And the reason why I'm going to be able to give you these practical tips is because it's something that it's happened with me. I still have to keep it in check, but I've got some fabulous tips that has enabled me to take this week off. And Katie's obviously here, and I've literally only checked in with you once, haven't I, this week, Katie? So it's good. I've been able to get things off my to-do list because I've got a system in place now. And one of those systems is the art of the brain dump. And I'm going to go through that with you and why it's so powerful today, and why it has enabled me to take this week off and not be worried about, what I've got coming next week, because it's all planned out. It's all mapped out for me. So when the overwhelm raises its ugly head for you, we're going to be proactive about it this time, and we are going to deal with it rather than letting it derail us, because that's actually what happens. When we are so full of overwhelm, it actually means that we do nothing. It actually stops us in our tracks. So we want a system in place that actually stops us going down that route. Hey Annabelle, brilliant to see you. So again, yeah, Annabelle, I've only checked in with you a couple of times as well, so I've been really good this week and I've not been working so much. So yeah, okay, so common signs of overwhelm. Let me know in the comments what your little overwhelm patterns are. You know, it's when, for me, it's like when I look at, you know, I've got so much in my head, it feels as if it's going to explode. That I've literally got one thing after another. Hey Nicole, lovely to see you. So, you know, what are the things for you? Like I said, for me, it's when it's getting so full and I keep constantly adding to it. I normally have a glass of water here and I haven't got it, but I use that within my programs. You know, if you've got a glass of water and you keep on adding more water to it, what on earth is going to happen to it? What's going to happen to the glass of water? It's going to just overflow, isn't it? And that is what overwhelm actually is. Like I said, we are not designed to handle all of that information. You know, and what generally happens when you are literally adding and adding and adding all of these bits to your pile, all of the extra bits, you know, we almost get proud of how long our to-do list is. I've got all of these things on my to-do list. But actually, that's just when you're full of stuff. You know, you can't deal with it when it's like that. And what normally happens is you either completely shut down and you don't do anything, or you go off starting to do, oh, I think I'm going to start pairing the socks now. Or I think I'm going to, you know, do all of those mundane, I think I'm going to go and clear out the spare room or something. So you do all of the activities that are really not your money-making activities, your income-generating activities, or the activities that you should be doing in your business. We go off and we get easily distracted. So let me know right now, what are your favourite avoidance tactics? You know, when you kind of look and you think you've got so much going on, you're so overwhelmed that you go, I'm just not going to be able to do this. I'm just not cut out for this. Oh no, I'm just not going to be able to do it. So let me know, what are your things? What happens to you? What are your red flags that you have got too much going on in your brain? And what do you then do? What are the things that you then go off starting to do? Do you shut down? Do you get anxious? Do you get burnout? Do you literally, you know, kind of overflow? Or are you the one that you actually start running those negative patterns, start doing all of those little mundane activities that you know full well that you really don't need to be doing them right now, but you do everything but the thing you should be doing? So let me know in the comments, you know, how overwhelm shows up for you and what your little avoidance tactics are. Because your brain is not a container. You know, it's not a container. If I go back to the glass analogy, if you keep on topping it up, it's going to overflow. You have got to empty it out. You've got to empty it out. So when you've got that little voice in your head, that little red flag that you've got too much going on, when you're kind of going, I'm just not cut out to do this anymore, I just don't know where to start, I've got so much going on, that means that you are too full. It's too full. And it's, you know, like I said, you know, this brain dump that I've got, that I use, it's something that I use really, you know, with a lot of the ladies in my programs. Because, you know, this, oh, is one of them. Yay, hey Michelle, lovely to see you. Oh, and Helen, hi, lovely to see you, Helen. You know, I mean, the thing is, when we think about this stuff, so the ladies that are in my accelerator programs, they want to rapidly change their life. They want to make something different. A lot of them are in business, not all of them. A lot of them have got sidelines, side little hustles, side little sort of holistic therapy businesses, or, you know, skincare products and things like that. Lots of them do that. Lots of them have got online businesses. Lots of them just want to move forward in their life. So for those of them that are in business, and again, this is where it came from with me, who wants to, why are we doing this stuff? Why are we running our own business if actually we've swapped doing the 40-hour weeks to now suddenly doing an 80-hour week? Because we are literally adding and adding and adding the extra bits in our business. We keep on adding to the should pile. God, I should be doing this marketing. I should be on social media here. I should be writing this content. I should be doing this, and this. And our to-do list gets too big. And that's when overwhelm kicks in. So particularly in coaching, I remember when I first started coaching, I was literally booking in coaching one-to-one clients all the time. My diary was, if I show you one of my old diaries, it's absolutely chock-a-block. I literally put everything in it. And I never had space to do anything because I just felt as if I should be doing this, and this. I was working to other people's terms rather than to my terms. And that's not, I don't know about you, but that's not why I went into business. I wanted to go into business so I could have the freedom to choose what I wanted to do. And so that is the danger of, when overwhelm starts controlling us rather than us being in control of our lives, that we keep on adding the extra to what we're doing. And that's not, yeah, Michelle, that's what you used to do. Absolutely. You just keep adding and adding. What we've got to realise is as, entrepreneurs, as these, women in business, ambitious women in business, and that want to, make our lives, the quality life that we want it to be, we've got to be more self-aware. We've got to know that, yes, we are running an autonomous business, that we're in control of it. So there is so much more to actually be thinking about, isn't it? And if you're kind of used to that structure, I suppose, that's when it can get a little bit difficult, more challenging. If you're used to that structure and when you're in business, you haven't got that structure. So, we're kind of told what to do, and we tend to default to that belief that this feeling of that overwhelm is not actually acceptable. And what we first do is we've got to deal with the overwhelm. We go into this running mode, don't we? That, oh my God, I'm now overwhelmed on top of everything else. And, I've got to deal with the overwhelm now. And we then do knee-jerk reactions. We then do the knee-jerk reactions to how we're feeling, because we've put this word overwhelm as kind of that thing now. That's an extra thing. I've now got overwhelm to deal with. And rather than seeing it that, rather than examining what's going on and, what's underneath and the self-sabotaging patterns, then keep running. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that overwhelm isn't a thing, of course. I'm not saying that. But we can often then use overwhelm as our reason for not, for it draining our energy, for us not moving forward. And your brain is very, very crafty, isn't it? Your brain is really, really crafty, because it starts sending, throwing those old patterns at us. It starts doing that, when you kind of have that, oh my God, I'm really, really overwhelmed now. Suddenly our brain starts going, yeah, I'm going to try and protect you now because you've got that going on. So let's not start going out for, making more money, being more successful, being more visible, because you can't deal with it right now. So it starts actually pulling back, sucking us back into this, almost becoming an excuse for us. But because, again, let's just strip it back. Let's just strip it back. And what actually happens, again, we can only do one thing at a time. We can only do one thing at a time. Now, there may be a million things that you've got to do. But overwhelm itself actually comes because of the expectations that we actually place on ourselves. And so again, if you're like me, this is what I used to do. I used to go, I've got to get all of that done right now. Let me know in the comments Let me know in the comments if that is something with you, that you think, right, I've got to do all of that now. I can't wait. I've got to do it all now. Hey, Karen, lovely to see you. So that's the first one, that we think we've got to do it all now. We've got to get it all figured out now. Remember that. And I was on a fabulous seminar yesterday. I was on a fabulous seminar that culminated in Marie Forleo being on live last night. So I was up till, we were on this live until 10 o'clock last night. But it was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And, like I said, it culminated with Marie Forleo being on live. And it's just amazing to be part of the whole day. But one of the things that we find is, what we were listening to yesterday was just that evidence. We do not know what's going to happen. We do not know what's going to happen. And we really have got to let go of the how we're going to do it. We've got to go back to the whole stepping into our vision, reminding ourselves of our why. There is never total certainty of how something's going to go. But actually, if you constantly keep adding things without taking stuff away, and actually the overwhelm becomes your excuse for not starting something, then that's when it's a problem. So what the first thing is, we don't know the how. There's never going to be certainty. So we can't figure it all out now. But that's one of the things that happens, that we think we've got to do it all now, that there's not enough time for us and we've got to have it all figured out. And the next one, and again, I've been very open with you all, that this is kind of one of the things again that was one of my nemesis, is perfectionism. That not only had I have to get it all figured out right now, it all had to be perfect. So all of those should be, if any of those traits are you, let me know in the comments there. Let me know there. But if any of those traits are you, overwhelm is controlling you. Overwhelm is controlling you. The judger in you is controlling you. That perfectionism trait is controlling you. So actually, we've got to strip that back. We've got to strip it back. You may be slower. You may not get there as quick, although I absolutely believe that you will get there quicker. That is my belief, that you will get there quicker when you slow down. And yeah, it might be done less perfectly. But can you handle that? Ask yourself, can you handle that? Now, I'm not going to go into the whole brain science bit about all of this. That is the stuff I go into on my certified NLP courses. But I'm just going to give you a very brief intro to our brain and how it works. And, we've got an unconscious mind and we've got a conscious mind. They both have different functions, but they're better when they work together, much better when they work together. Our conscious mind has got very limited processing capability, very limited. And yet we constantly treat our brain like it's a storage device. We keep using this way. We keep adding and adding and adding. Getting more information, reading more. Let me know, who are these self-help addicts? That you are literally reading book after book, digesting more and more and more information, adding more information without emptying out. And as entrepreneurs, for business owners, we have to get into the habit of getting things out and not keep putting more and more into our brains. So we can actually use our brain for what it is meant for us. To find solutions, to problem solve, to create direction, to, have our imagination, our creativity, to move forward for growth and success. So again, how is overwhelm showing up for you right now? Let me know how overwhelm is showing up for you. Where is everything too much? You've got to do this now. Let me know right now, because now I'm going to give you the tips that I use to deal with this. And these are practical things that you can start doing today. And I would really encourage you to start doing them today. So first of all, it's set up in two ways. It's set up into two ways to deal with overwhelm. The first one, and the one thing that I am absolutely, it's a non-negotiable of mine now, and a non-negotiable, is to have daily proactive habits. Your mind and body work together. Your mind and body work together. And when we use them like that, that's when it serves us. That is when it serves for us, for you. It works for us. So the first thing, I really do have this whole sort of morning ritual. I have morning rituals and I have evening rituals. And the one thing that I really do now is this whole I do a meditation. I do yoga. I do yoga not every morning. I do it probably 3 times a week. I go for a walk. I always set my intention for the day. And that's one of the things, actually, it's one of those, when people have a to-do list and they keep adding and adding and adding to their to-do list, then you kind of go, when you're starting off the week, you get to Monday and you've got this huge task list already to work on. And, that's where the expectations come in, because there's absolutely no way you're going to get through it. So already we're starting that week on the back foot, that we're setting ourselves up to fail immediately when you've got all this stuff in your head and you've got this huge to-do list. So I set an intention for the day. What are the things I really want to work on? What's going to drive my business forward? What's really going to move the needle for me? So that's these are my habits that I do. I've got my journal. And so this is my journal that I've created, that you can still purchase off me if you want to buy my journal, and I'll pop the link actually in the comments there. But this is a really clear morning and evening routines in there. It's also got a brain dumping page, so that you can actually put any of your worries, any of the things that are coming up for you, you can pop them in there. Within that journal. I do affirmations. You obviously just heard one of my affirmations go off on my alarm. I do affirmations. I get into a positive high vibe. I eat healthily. All of these things contribute to positive, proactive habits for me to work with your mind and body together. So that's number one. That's number one thing. Then number 2 is this brain dump. This is the brain dump bit. And I literally want you to now get yourselves pen and paper, get a book that is your brain dump book. I want you to you are going to book in the space. You've got to book in the space to do this. So the first thing before we even start this exercise is that you are going to schedule your brain dump in your diary. Absolutely create that time and space for you. Because again, what we often do when we are full of overwhelm, then the more and more that little crafty little bit in our brain says, you haven't got the time to do a brain dump. You've got all of this stuff to do. So you've got to be able to counteract that. So the first thing to do is to actually schedule the time to do this. You actually have, you actually have got to make the time for this. You actually haven't not got the time. You really haven't. So the first thing is to literally schedule a specific time. So find a time for you in your diary that is a good time for you. And put it in your diary, so you're blocking it out. You could set a timer. I've got little what are they called? You know, the little timers that you've got. I've got them in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. So set yourself a timer so that you are literally, you know, this is a absolute actual activity for you to be doing. It's part of your business life, your life, allowing yourself this time and space to be doing it. You're then going to literally empty out, and I mean empty out, everything you're obsessing about, everything you're worrying about, everything you have to do. Put it as a task list, set it all out, everything you're feeling emotional about. And then there's no right or wrong to this, just empty it all out. Just keep on going and keep asking yourself, what else? What else? What else? You know, again, I've got my list to do of, you know, I've got to book the alarm in. I've got to, what else have I got to do? Oh, I've got to renew one of my memberships. Got to create a subscription. So get it all out. Literally empty it all out. Just keep asking, what else, what else, what else? And like I said, you know, at the time when you think, oh, no, there's nothing else, give it another 5 minutes, because I bet you there will be more to add to that. So that's your first part of the brain dump, is to literally empty it all out. The next one, the next part of this, is to cross out everything that you have no control over. Something that you're worrying about, whether it is, oh, look at, you know, oh, I've got to do that content because so-and-so's doing it. Or whatever it is. If it's something that you're worrying about, but you really have got no control over it, cross it out. Cross it out. Let it go is one of my favourite sayings. Just let it go. It's taking up space in your head that you can't do a thing about. Only worry about things that you can control. So that's the next stage, is to cross out all of the things as you go through the list. Ask yourself, can I actually do something about that or not? Am I worrying about nothing? That's usually where, what if this happens if I do this? What if I put this program out and nobody buys it, or whatever it is? Put that all down and then cross it out, because you can't do anything about that, okay? The next one is that you're going to then look at your list. You're going to look at your list and you're going to group them. You're going to group them into categories. You know, so again, is it your health, your fitness, you know, personal activities like me, booking my alarm in, you know, renewing my memberships. So put them into certain categories. Where do they fit for your business? Is it your marketing, content creation, sales, launching, whatever it might be? Pop it into a category. And then you're going to look at your list and think, where could they go? Where could they go? Because that's when you can start laying out your priorities. I actually use the whole rock, pebble, sand formula. So which are my rocks? Which are my non-negotiables? Which are the pebbles? Which are the sand? So I can actually organise, you know, them into categories in order of priority. I always make sure that my income generating activities are my rocks, the things that do not get moved no matter what happens. Then you're going to ask yourself, so what can I take action on? Now, I do actually like, it might not be to what everybody does, I like to do some of the easy things first. So if I look at my list and I think, oh, that will actually only take me 2 minutes, I do it. I get it off the list so I can cross it off, and that actually boosts me more to do the other stuff as well. So it's just something I do. Not everybody maybe likes to do that, but I like to do a few of the things that I think that's literally going to take me a minute to do, like booking my alarm. How long is that going to take? And yet it's taking space in my head right now. So that's one thing I can kind of go, right, that's an easy thing. Get it off the list. Then, but I also then want you to be noticing What are the things that keep on coming up? What are the things that keep on coming up out of my head, that they're in my head, I write them down, but they're staying on the list? What is it that I'm ignoring? What are the things that I'm putting off? You know, it's often things that we think that we might get rejected on. You know, whether it be follow-ups or making those, you know, those calls that we know is going to be a little bit more of conflict. You know, maybe it's a sales call, maybe it's, you know, whatever it is, it's that thing for you that you're making bigger and bigger and bigger because you're not taking the action on it. So what is that thing as well when you do your list? What is that thing that you are ignoring? So then you're going to then ask yourself, what is it going to take to get that one moving, to get it done? Get it done. So have a look at that. You know, I there's other things that I then do. I also use my secret little thing where I do post-it exercises as well, of breaking it down into time to increase your productivity. But I think for now, I think that is kind of enough to get you started moving towards cutting this overwhelm out. The point is, for me, it was a complete game changer, because, you know, what we can often do when we are, particularly when we're new to business or, you know, we can often feel as if we're constantly chasing the outcome, getting something done, rather than enjoying it along the way. And I really did get into that habit of, I've got to keep chasing that next thing. You know, I was getting the money in, I was getting really successful, but I was thinking, hang on a minute, the whole purpose, what's my why? Why am I doing this? And you sometimes have to actually cut it down. You've got to cut it down and simplify it. You really cannot do it all. So for me, the minute I actually started, you know, planning things and cutting out the overwhelm and doing this brain dump exercise, it was a game changer. And for me, my income has really accelerated, and I'm getting the best of both worlds because I've got the freedom to do what I want to do as well. It's got me back in touch with why I'm in business. So I'm enjoying. I love watching the transformations of women that I work with. It's my passion, and I'm able to enjoy that a whole lot more by stepping back and taking the time off. So, hope you've enjoyed that today. Please do let me know how you get on. Post it in the group, how you get on with these brain dumping activities. And, you know, I love to hear what your biggest takeaways are. And, you know, if there's anything then else that I can add to that to support you to actually, you know, move yourself forward, let me know. And now we're off for a walk today. We're going on a 7-mile walk, I think. I'm hoping it maybe not that long. On a 7-mile walk, and going to stop and have some nice lunch on the canal. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will see you all again next week, usual time, 12:30. So have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.